Let's assume all of that's correct. Then don't fucking go there. If you know that a majority of its content is child pornography,
friend that's into
don't go there.
I want to get to the crux of the matter. I want to know what the hell this ancient elephant is peddling child porn for.
I have a couple articles here, and I'm going to give them to you in the chronological order as they came out, because this whole situation about, and to play on with David's work or David's joke about extinct and kiddie porn, how are those two things connected?
Well, one would hope that kiddie porn was extinct, but it's very alive and
It
aware.
should be. It should go the way of the Mastodon or woolly mammoth.
An
Maybe
asteroid
both.
should hit it right in the fucking face and it should never exist again.
Mastodon is an alternative to Twitter, a social media site, which, according to an article on November 28th, 2022, so not that long ago, we have a Washington Post article with the title that says, Democrats join Twitter alternative Mastodon in protest of Musk. Again, no shockers there. We did an episode on Truth Social. Basically, as the rats are leaving the ship, they're trying to figure out which life raft they're going to go to. Some going to Truth Social, some going to Mastodon. But basically, the rule of thumb is anywhere but Twitter, right? Because, as you know, Musk is terrible and everything he touches turns to shit, according to these people. Now, that was the exactly. That was the end of November 2022. And then from the Post-Millennial on January 2nd, 2023, we have a report that says, quote, majority of content on Mastodon's social media site is child porn. A majority of the content. Not a fringe 1 or 2% that Mastodon is working diligently to eradicate. A majority of the content over there is child porn. Now, that's problematic, to use the left's. They like to always say that's problematic or whatever. They have these little catchy buzzwords. That's problematic. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You're thinking,
Dan, you look really triggered right now.
I'm triggered AF. You guys are probably thinking, hey, just based on those two titles, I think you guys are being unfair, because by juxtaposing those two, are you suggesting that they're leaving Twitter and taking their kiddie porn with them to Mastodon? And the answer to that
would appear so.
We're not sure. But we don't need to make that claim to say what we are going to say about this particular topic.
And that's all I said, is it would appear. So I didn't say it was so. I'm not Picard. Anyway, it's just weird. Like, I know that we've all been in that space, in that weird time where you're talking about something, then all of a sudden the mood strikes you, so to speak, and your brain goes elsewhere. I don't know.
I'd like you to be specific about what this mood is and where your brain goes in light of the subject matter.
Usually.
It's not
usually. If a man is having a conversation, then all of a sudden his hormones kick in. He doesn't go to child porn. He goes to, like, YouTube or YouPorn, the X-Hamster, all the unextinct.
You're just going to
things.
name a bunch of sites?
If you haven't checked them out, they're wonderful places. No, but I didn't know that that ranting and raving about politics in one hand on a social media platform went hand in hand with an obscene, fucking perverse, illegal. Would you say that I would argue that this is like the worst kind of thing that you could ever possibly do to anything on this earth, ever?
Yeah, I mean, especially when we think about what is it that's
cheese pizza.
What is it that's so unseemly about this is the fact that these are the most vulnerable members in our entire society. They can't protect themselves. It's basically them and, any people that have...
They can't consent, they aren't of age.
Yeah,
right.
Some people that have like a disability that can't care for themselves. Like, these are the groups of people that are the most fragile from the context of being taken advantage of. And that's why they need to be protected at all costs. That's why anything even remotely trending in the direction of this stuff being
by people that
passed around is uncomfortable for the vast majority
by
of us.
people that hold themselves to the highest of moral standings that could possibly ever be had, that they want every person in this world to be as successful as the next person. And to say, yes, Black Lives Matter, and we need to get rid of systemic racism within this country. And then all of a sudden you're looking at an 8-year-old performing sexual acts. Like there's I hate to say it, but there's a disconnect there. There's two different things. Like you're trying to protect one population that you say can't protect itself, but then you go for the only population that we all agree that can't protect itself, and it's abound on your fucking platform. That's a problem. That's two different messages that you're sending on the same platform. So
well, and here's the thing that I want to say about this topic, and this is kind of a rule of thumb that you can apply to all of the relationships in your life, not just, politics on social media sites or just interacting with people on social media sites in general, is pay attention to the things that people, again, take them at face value at their own words. Pay attention to what they claim outrage over versus the things that they don't. And so here's what I mean by that. We don't even have to go the next, conspiratorial step and say, oh yeah, well, a majority of the content over on Mastodon is this stuff because these were the people that were doing it on Twitter and they're taking it with them. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that these people aren't actually engaging in it. They're not looking for it. They're not seeking it out. None of that. I'm going to say that. But what I am saying is that it's a known quantity now that Mastodon is the primary purveyor in terms of social media sites of child pornography. Previously, Twitter had that problem before Elon Musk came in and said, in addition to free speech being a big deal for him, the number one thing that he wanted to take control of at Twitter was get the child porn off of Twitter.
Fuck you, Elon.
Because the last, whether it be owners or managers or controllers, whatever you want to call them, the last group of people that had all of the control that we've been talking about for weeks, enough control to ban accounts and work with the FBI to make sure that the right information was getting out there or whatever. They had intense controls on a lot of other aspects of society, but somehow child porn was just all over the place.
Whoops.
And so looking through that lens of these, again, this is the Washington Post. This isn't me categorizing these people. The Washington Post saying Democrats join Twitter alternative Mastodon and protest over Musk is they'll claim vehement outrage over everything Elon Musk is and stands for. And this is parlaying back into the whole Manicheanist thing. Because he's on the dark side, they can't admit that he does even one good thing right. They can't even sit down and say for a second, well, you know what? Hate this guy 99.9% of the time, but at least he's getting child porn off of Twitter. Can't do that. They would rather go to an alternative where it is a known quantity that child pornography is all over the place and turn a blind eye to that, show no outrage or concern for that at all, just to get away from Elon Musk.
Well, here's the thing.
As bad as he might be, at least he's trying to eradicate child porn on the social media website that he's controlled. And so if we are judging these people by their acts and being outraged over Elon Musk, but not over child porn on Mastodon, sufficient that they're just flooding over in Mastodon in record numbers, that should tell you a little bit about the content of the character of these individuals who claim such outrage over Elon Musk and Twitter.
Well, the thing is, too, is like, and I know what you're saying to yourself, dear listener, is that you're saying, well, how could they possibly know, or how can they stop any of these just arbiters of child pornography on their platform? Like, it's a social media platform. How can they be the regulators of something like that? Well, they regulated stories that came out about politicians. They swayed votes to and for certain people that they had prevalence to. So for us to sit here and say, like, hey, it's cherry picking to some degree. It's like, so there might be trolls that are just flooding this thing that they don't want to succeed with child porn. That's fine. But if you even make the argument that they can't stop them from doing that, that's impossible to do it. Well, how many articles did you see on Hunter Biden's laptop this last election cycle?
None over at Twitter.
None over at Twitter.
Not without getting banned.
And now it's coming out that Elon is saying, hey, they had mechanisms in place that stopped that kind of stuff from happening. Why didn't they put those mechanisms in place to stop the child porn?
Exactly.
Because it wasn't a fucking issue for
It
them.
wasn't a priority.
There you go.
Just like it's not a priority in terms of keeping them away from Mastodon now. And to David's point about, okay, what can the individual user do, right? They don't have control over stopping it. They're just using the platform. What can they do? Real simple. Don't go there, right? The whole vote with your dollars, vote with your feet kind of thing. You don't give Mastodon traffic, Mastodon dies. This is their entire argument for why they want to leave Twitter. They want to see, the Mastodons are, they want to see Twitter die, right? So again, take them at their own logic. They want to see Twitter die. How does Twitter die? You starve it of traffic, because if it's starved of traffic, then advertisers don't pay to advertise there, and then it doesn't have any money and it runs out. Or people aren't there to pay Elon his $8 for his Twitter Blue or whatever, and it dies. So their logic in their own brains is telling them, if I stop using Twitter, Twitter will die. So on an individual personal capacity, yes, they can't control the flow of content. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt, say that David was right. It's nothing but trolls that are putting all this stuff on Mastodon trying to bring it down, because that's where all the Democrats are going. Let's assume all of that's correct. Then don't fucking go there. If you know that a majority of its content is child pornography,
friend that's into
don't go there.
You don't hang out with them. Like,
Pretty simple stuff.
If you knew that one of your friends was a known child pornographer or was just really fucking into it, you'd be like, okay, that's the last time I'm talking to Ricky. Like,
I love that you named him. And then
he's a fictional character, and I have to give him a name. Hey, Rick, stop it. Knock it off, you knucklehead. Anywho, it's a very simple concept. Just don't go there.